If you had to give out an all-star award for worst dressed on the Nashville Predators.
That's the easiest. That's Tommy Novak.
What do you drink at a
Always
game?
beer. My sister is very much a wine girl at
a sporting
games,
event?
And for me, that's a big no-no.
What's up? What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Jackie Redmond Show. We have got a locked and loaded episode for you. Swedish superstar Filip Forsberg joins the show to talk all things Nashville Predators, a little country music, a little his growing family. You know how we do. Plus, I caught up with WWE superstar Chelsea Green ahead of the Royal Rumble. She is a massive Vancouver Canucks fan, and she might be a little bit upset that she's not headed to All-Star Weekend in Toronto. And you know we don't do this without a Jackie segment. I hope you're ready. All right, he is leading his team in both goals and points this season as the Nashville Predators fight for a playoff spot, but he might be most famous for his epic stash. Everybody welcome Filip Forsberg to the show. Congratulations are in order as you and your wife are expecting. You must be so excited.
Yeah, we really are. It's obviously going to be a lot crazier around here in a couple months.
So I imagine you are starting to, read the parenting books with your wife and get ready with what to expect. What's the most surprising or maybe intimidating thing that you've learned about taking care of a baby?
You know what? I'm going to be honest. We haven't started any of that yet, so I'm getting a little nervous on it. I think we probably have to. I think we're winging it maybe a little too much, but yeah. I mean, I think after Toronto, I think we'll sit down and make up a game plan. We got to get some baby stuff too. We have a crib, but that's about it. So we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, the baby shower will help with some of that stuff as well, I'm sure. And some people would argue that maybe expecting parents read a little bit too much, and then that makes them a little bit more nervous when the baby gets there. But congratulations. Do you guys know what you're having, or are you going to wait and keep it a surprise?
No, we know what we're having. We're having a little boy coming in May, so that'd be exciting.
Oh my gosh! So how has the choosing of names gone? Are you guys like on the same page right away? Or are you still figuring it out?
I mean, it's funny that because we were talking, like even before anything happened, just thinking about it, and we had ideas. But then the second, when we realized that Erin was pregnant, everything just kind of felt silly. So I think we're just gonna wait and almost see what feels right when he arrives. So there's no names yet.
I know your wife is a musician. I'm assuming here that she's a country artist. So are you? I mean, you play in Nashville. You have for a long time. Were you a country guy before you got there?
Not really. I mean, I didn't really know anything about country music until I got traded to Nashville, and one of my teammates in my team in Sweden told me that Carrie Underwood was married to Mike Fisher, and I didn't know who Carrie Underwood was. I knew who Mike Fisher was, but obviously was fortunate enough to play with Mike Fisher for a while and get to meet Carrie a couple times. But I didn't know anything about country until I got here. And once you get there, as you guys know, it's impossible to miss. And it's definitely I'm starting to learn it for sure.
And Carrie Underwood's one of the greats. I mean, I'm sure you've seen her live because of your connection to Mike, but hell of a voice. If you were to pick like your top 3 favorite country artists, who would we find on your country playlist?
I like Garth Brooks. Was fortunate enough to meet him and his wife Trisha. I was actually funny story. I was on his wife Trisha Yearwood's cooking show a couple years ago. They had me and Ryan Johansson and Yannick Weber were doing a little cameo on her cooking show, so that was fun. So I love Garth and Trisha. Those are both great, and I think Luke Combs is probably the favorite of the newer country artists. So it's a little bit of everything.
No big deal, just hanging out with Garth and Trisha, 2 country legends. It's but just part of my life. What do you remember? What she was making?
I think we're making like pre-game bites, so more like almost like for football Sunday, that type of stuff. Trying to make like snacks and appetizers and drinks like that. So there was, I don't think we did a lot more than just watch and taste, but it was great. And I just saw they just opened up a bar here in Nashville too, Friends in Low Places right on Broadway. And I was just in there actually last week, and they did a promo for the All-Star game. So they actually have the Forsberger on the menu for right now at their bar on Broadway, which is cool. So I was just in there last week with Trisha doing that, and Garth was there, and our friend Max Goldberg, who runs the place, was setting it up. So it was cool.
Okay, great name for a bar, number one. Number two, I must ask, because Predators fans will just eat me alive if I don't. What comes on the Forsberg burger?
It's two smashed patties. There's lettuce, there's onions, there's cheese. I want to say there's a tomato on there too, and I did taste it, and it was great. So I can highly recommend it. And it's, like I said, it's a limited edition, so people got to get there before it's too late.
Okay, it sounds like you're a classic guy when it comes to your burger. The classic toppings, the mashed burgers, and just keep it simple. I'm sure Preds fans will be heading there to try it before we know it. I do want to ask you this as well. I mean, you're talking about Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood. Living in Nashville is kind of like living in LA. I mean, there's just musicians everywhere. Are you ever kind of just like taken aback when someone famous walks out to sing the national anthem?
Yeah, no, there's been a few great moments, obviously, especially during the Stanley Cup run we had there a few years. I feel like that was almost as exciting as the game itself, you know, just seeing who they were going to be able to pull out for the national anthem. And I mean, we've seen anything. I mean, it's been so cool. Like, obviously, Carey did it. And I mean, there's been so many great performances, and not just at the rink, but every now and then you walk into people around town too. Like I got to meet Jelly Roll a couple months back, and he's phenomenal guy too. And it's really cool just seeing how successful he's been with everything that he's gone through. And he's an unbelievable guy.
I have to ask, as a Swiftie, have you ever crossed paths with Taylor Swift?
No, I haven't. We did go to her show when he was in Nashville. Me and Aaron and Matt Duchene and his wife. We went. I think that was right after the season last year. But we haven't been able to meet her yet. So that one is still on the list, I guess.
So this was the Eras tour. How would you rate the show? Did you enjoy it?
It was great. It was awesome. I thought it's obviously crazy. I mean, just see the people that know every word. And I like her, but I don't know every word. I know a few words to a few songs, but some of those people sing the whole concert. It's really impressive.
Yeah,
and it's obviously credit to her.
I mean, you can't deny what she's been able to accomplish, whether you're into her music or not. But I remember when the Eras tour first started, people were starting to talk about the fact that she's up there for like 3.5 hours. She's running around the stage. She's singing all these songs. Like, the training for that must have been wild. But you mentioned Matt Duchene, who I asked about Taylor Swift a few weeks ago. He can play some of her stuff, for those wondering. But your wife is a musician. I know Matt Duchene loves to play the guitar and stuff. Have him and your wife, like, at parties, are they just in a corner singing songs for everybody?
They did actually. They did do a song at the Halloween party last year together, which was like a karaoke bar type of style place.
Yeah.
So they did do a song together there, and it was good. It was really good. He didn't play; they were both singing, but maybe there's something in the works for him there in the future.
Listen, I need to hear it. Do you happen to remember what song they did together?
Yeah, Morgan Wallen's Whiskey Glasses. That's his go-to every time. Every time I actually seen him play that live at a bar in Nashville, not just a karaoke place, but he's done, and he's talented. You got to give it to him.
Listen, talented and obviously brave if he's just performing all the time in front of teammates at karaoke bars. I mean, I have respect for it, to say the very least. All right, we're going to have some fun here, but I do want to ask you a couple of hockey-related questions before we do that, because we are a hockey show. You guys are in the midst of fighting for a playoff spot right now. How would you, this version of the Nashville Predators, how would you describe the personality of the Preds in 2024?
I'd say it's evolving. It's something that we haven't seen the final product of yet. I think we have a lot of young guys, a lot of guys that are new to the team, whether you're young or old. Obviously, we brought in a couple really solid veterans like Ryan O'Reilly, Luke Shen, Gus Nyquist kind of in the offseason to steer the ship together with some of the guys that we have. And I think like I said, I don't think we have reached kind of where we want to get to, but I'm really excited about the process that we're on. So I don't think we have seen the final, like I said, we definitely haven't got to where we want yet, but it's been a really good start.
It certainly has, and I couldn't help but notice you mentioned Ryan O'Reilly, and I've seen you talk about him in other interviews saying that you always knew it was hard to play against him, but you never fully understood the work that he puts in and the little things that he does every single day to kind of be consistently as good as he is, and that you've actually learned some things from him. So as a follow-up to reading some of that, like what little things have you noticed that he does where you're like, oh, I never would have thought to do that, or it's interesting that he works on that every day, I didn't realize. Is there anything that comes to mind?
You see some of the stuff that he does, and it doesn't look like anything special, but then all of a sudden there's the exact play in the game and he scores on it, and you're like, oh, I see. That's why. Just the way he does things around the net is really, because he's not necessarily been known as a goal scorer. Obviously, he's doing so many other things so great, but the touch he's got around the net, how good of a player he is with his stick around the net has been remarkable, with just tipping pucks, finding rebounds. I mean, I've probably got 10 assists that are just been shots at the net that he'll dig out and find and score on, you know? So it's been really cool just seeing that. And obviously just with adding the 200-foot player that he's been for his whole career. I mean, I barely have to take a stride in defensive zone.
You know, I really respect his passion for the game because he's been consistently so passionate his entire career. And I think anyone in life, like, it's human nature, especially when you've already won or accomplished a goal, to kind of, you know, relax a little bit and get comfortable. And he's never really seemed like that type of player. Another teammate of yours that I absolutely love watching is Juuse Saros. And I started last year calling a nickname for him, and it really isn't taking on, but I'm curious. I want you to critique it, and you can be totally honest. I've been calling him Juicy Juuse. So when he has like a really great performance, like, Juicy Juuse is at it again. Kevin Weeks hasn't fully taken it on, which is disappointing. I'm just curious, as a player and a teammate, what you think of said nickname.
I like it. I mean, I'm a little surprised that Kevin Weeks didn't like that. I feel like he'd be eating that up. He loves his goalies too, so I'm a little surprised about that. But I like that. I mean, he's earned it. You know, he's somebody does. I can't remember who he is, but somebody is calling him Juicy J over at the locker room every now and then. So it's at least maybe it started with you. Maybe I don't know, but Juicy J has been thrown around the room for sure.
I don't want to accuse anyone of plagiarism, but I feel like I was saying Juicy Juuse first. And maybe Weeksy's just a little jealous because he is kind of the king of the nickname. Like, he's come up with some really good nicknames for guys, right? So maybe he's like, Redmond, stay in your lane. Like, I'm the nickname person. You don't get to do this. But I'm glad that you're on board with Juicy Juuse. All right, All-Star Weekend is like a week away, not even. So I want to give out some All-Star awards to the Nashville Predators. I did this with Carter Verhaeghe last week, and he was a great sport. So I'm hoping that you will be the same. So if you were to give out an All-Star award to a teammate of yours that you would say is maybe the all-star of having a messy locker, who would you give that award to?
That's a good question. I don't think we have anyone that's too messy because our equipment staff is dialed in. They won't let it get there. Pete Rogers is the godfather of locker rooms, and he won't let anyone get there. But I think probably Phil Tomasino. I think just based on everything, he's got his hair everywhere, he's got his stuff everywhere. So I think he'd be the number one for that.
I like the shout out to the equipment staff. They deserve it. I forget that you guys get cleaned up after a little bit in the dressing room. Oh, big time. Capital S, spoiled for sure. Okay, all-star of pulling pranks on the Nashville Predators would be?
Shockingly, we don't really have anyone we haven't had any pranks. I think Gus Nyquist is kind of waiting for that to start. I feel like he's got a lot of stuff that he's played with a lot of guys that obviously in Detroit especially, and he's been on different teams. I feel like he's a guy that's lurking in the shadows waiting for it. So I think it hasn't happened yet, but I'm pretty sure it will happen. He's going to do something here soon.
He's waiting for the right time. All right. Exactly. How about some fashion awards? I don't want to encroach on Sarah Sivian's corner here, but if you had to give out an all-star award for worst dressed on the Nashville Predators.
That's the easiest. That's Tommy Novak for sure, with no questions. I don't want to
explain further.
He just legit doesn't care. He puts on what's first in front of him, I think, and yeah, there's a couple questionable shirts that are at least a couple sizes too big, and yeah, I mean it's remarkable, the lack of care, which is also impressive. I think.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword in a way.
Exactly. Yeah, it's different because there's guys that try and doesn't work. He just doesn't try, which is cool in itself, I guess.
I do want to ask you a couple of trivia questions to see if you are up to date on your fellow Swedes. Are you game for that? It's only two questions. Okay, so do you know who the all-time leading Swedes in scoring are, like the top three?
Matt Sundin.
Yeah.
Nick Lidstrom.
Ding, ding, ding.
And then I want to say that it's Daniel Alfredsson.
Boom, 3 for 3. I'm not surprised. I didn't expect. Yeah, you got it perfect. Didn't even hesitate really either. So maybe these aren't that hard. Okay, this one I'm sure you know as well, but more goals by a Forsberg, Philip or Peter?
I mean, it's got to be Peter still, because if not, that would be pretty cool. But obviously, he was more of a passer, but he could do it all. Like I said, he didn't. His career got cut short with injuries. If not, he would have been up there just with Sundin and Lidstrom and Alfredsson, like I said. But I'd say
Legends.
Peter for
You
now.
say
Hopefully,
Peter.
I'll be able to beat him. Yeah, I'll say Peter.
Well, I think that I am being told the correct answer here, but it's actually you.
Well, that's cool. That's really cool, actually.
I imagine, like, obviously all of these guys are legendary, but is there one guy in particular that you kind of looked up to or whose game you, like, really admired coming up?
Yeah, that was Peter. I'm nowhere close to as good as he was, but there are certain things in my game that I definitely got from him that I try to work on and keep perfecting to hopefully get close to his level, because he was one heck of a player.
Well, you got more goals than him now, so you'll have to do a mocktail toast with your wife to celebrate the occasion. But listen, Philip, you have been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being a good sport. Congratulations on everything going on in your life professionally and personally, and good luck with the Preds the rest of the way. Hope to see you playing in April.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Jackie.
And hey, read some books, eh? Parenting books. Get on that.
Yeah, I'm getting on it right now.
Welcome to the show, Chelsea Green. I can't do the Sam, but
I thought that was pretty good.
Not bad, right?
That was good.
Thank you for doing this. I figured the first woman I wanted to have on the show from WWE had to be a fellow Canadian and had to be a hockey fan, which I assume as a Vancouver girl you are.
No, absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
look, let me tell you something. I have wavered. I've hopped off a few bandwagons and onto some.
Okay. I respect the honesty.
But we're here to stay now. We are here to stay.
Okay, so give us a peek behind the curtain of Chelsea Green as a hockey fan. Like, how long have you liked hockey? What's your team? What's your former team? Give us the journey to where you're at now.
Okay. Canucks are my team.
Okay.
That's my team. However, for a moment in time, I jumped off the bandwagon. I hopped onto the Flames bandwagon
Okay.
because I went to school in Calgary. So I was always at the Saddle
Okay.
Dome. I was always drinking the Dome foam.
I don't even know what that is. What's the dome foam?
No, you have to be a Calgarian to know, Jackie. I can't be spilling all the tea on the Dome foam. But we hopped off the bandwagon because we had a little breakup.
Okay, so was this a Taylor Swift fandom situation? Am I reading the tea leaves here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we hopped off that bandwagon.
So we're very anti-Flames now.
We are not Iginla fans anymore, and we are back on the Kessler train. And I know Kessler is also off the Canucks train, but I will forever be a Kessler fan.
Okay, so he's like your favorite Vancouver Canuck during your course of time as a fan?
Absolutely.
Why?
He, first of all, is beautiful. Second
Fair.
of all, is like a family man, and
Okay.
that's amazing. And third, I was in high school when he was in his absolute prime, and my name on Facebook was Chelsea Kessler.
Stop.
During the hockey season. I kid you not. It's very embarrassing now, but I was like 16.
He had some edge to him too with the way he played, which Canadians love that in their hockey players, right?
I mean, I feel like all of us were Kessler fans. Like all of the Canucks fans were Kessler fans.
Okay, fair enough. What about Bieksa? That's a former Canuck. Now he
Yes.
does TV.
No, 100%. There's a million people I could name off, but like Kessler was my guy.
That's
I had the
your
Kessler
Did you have the
jersey.
Do you still have it?
Absolutely. I do have an Iginla jersey too, but
No, like,
that's besides the point.
Listen, Iginla, mad respect. Everyone loves
Yeah,
Iginla. You don't have
right?
to be a Flames fan to respect the great Jerome Iginla.
Agreed.
So you're a Vancouver Canucks fan. You're from BC. What was your experience in 2011 when it was Canucks Bruins in the final? Were you a fan then?
Yeah, I was a big fan. And
Okay.
so I am from Vancouver Island. We took the ferry. We
Okay.
had all of our Canucks gear on when we went downtown Granville Street. That is where you
Game
go.
7, you were downtown.
Game 7. Downtown at the Roxy in Vancouver.
The Canucks now are very good. One of the best teams in the league. A bit of a surprise to most people. How do you feel
I was
about
at
this
the
year's
home opener.
Canucks? Okay.
I was at the home opener, and they absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
And it set the tone for what is now going to be an amazing season.
Yes.
gonna
Do you
be-
think they can win the cup this year?
I mean, I'll always have hope. I will always hold out hope, and especially because I would love to go back and be a fan now and be able to go to the game.
What do you drink at a
Always
game?
beer. My sister is very much a wine girl at
At a sporting
games,
event?
and for me, that's a big no-no. Like, big no-no. You've got to just be one with the arena and drink their beer.
I'd say less. I'm actually with you. Wine at hockey, it's weird. And I love a glass of red.
Me too, but
in the
not
arena,
at a sporting event.
In the arena, it just doesn't fit. You
No.
should smell like beer when you go
Agreed.
home, 100%.
Absolutely agree.
Okay, so I obviously this fandom inspired some really cool Canucks gear a few weeks ago at the live show. People went nuts for this. Did you help design it, or did you just hire someone to go, I need something Canucks, make it happen?
Okay, so fun fact, years ago, I had a Canucks outfit made.
Okay.
I ended up being released from WWE, so I wasn't able to wear that gear, and
Right.
it killed me because I had saved that gear for years to wear in Vancouver,
So you were released before you got a chance to wear it.
but
Oh,
not that gear,
Okay.
not that gear. Still Canucks gear,
Yeah.
still the blue, the green, the white.
Okay.
And I ended up wearing it in a really cool indie show downtown Vancouver on Granville.
Yeah.
And I felt like it got its moment, and I didn't want to wear it again. So when I was called to SmackDown, and it was going to be at Rogers Place, I thought I have to step it up.
Yeah.
You know, now we are in our second run at WWE. I have to step it up. So I said, I need it bigger and better, and I
This is
need
it. This is it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I need the logo to have the Canucks symbol, but with Chelsea on it. Jolene, our gear lady, made it in like 3 days.
Wow. I mean, she did a great shout out Jolene because it looked money.
And
it
you know
looked
what?
so good.
The owner of the Canucks saw it, liked it, it was approved, and that's all that matters.
Wow. Okay, so you got to make one happen. Do me a favor. Next time we're in Vancouver, you need to get the old school like black. You're
No,
already on it,
I'm already on it because I debated, was this the moment
right?
for that like vintage gear?
Yeah.
And the only reason
That's
I
my
didn't-
favorite. Like Pavel
Same.
Bure, like
Same.
more.
And the only reason I didn't do it is because that first gear didn't get its moment.
Yeah.
I wanted to have the elevated version of that this time. Now, next time, honey, or if we have a pay-per-view in Vancouver,
Ooh, put it out there. PLE in Vancouver.
I'm just saying, I saw Triple H talking to the owner of the Canucks. Maybe we'll get a PLE.
She's stirring the pot. She's stirring the pot, ladies and gentlemen. PLE in Vancouver. Come on, Hunter.
And
Is that
when
what we
it
say when
comes-
we're being serious
Yes.
with Triple H? Hunter, please.
Please, Sir Hunter.
Canada will love you forever.
And I will wear the vintage.
Oh my,
look.
now it has to happen. I
Yeah.
will be putting those vibes out into the universe. Now, I don't want to upset you, but I did see that you were hoping maybe you would have been selected as a celebrity captain for All-Star Weekend in Toronto as a Canadian celebrity yourself. It's Justin Bieber, it's Tate McRae, it's Michael
Michael
Bublé
Bublé,
representing
I
the
do-
Pacific. He's Vancouver.
I do love
Is that
Bublé.
something that are you upset that you didn't get that call?
I don't know why you would think that, Jackie. Is it because I tweeted? Is it because I
Yes.
posted on Instagram? I just feel, look, I love Tate McRae, but like,
Don't we all?
I'm out here wearing logos. I am out here putting in the work, going to games. I am out here tweeting about the Canucks. Like, hello. I imagine my invite got lost in the mail. And so Tate filled in for me. So thank you, Tate.
Well, I'm thinking maybe there's an opportunity you and Michael Bublé can be like co-captains because Pacific, you kind of want to represent the Pacific, right? Because you're from
And me
the
and
Pacific
Michael Bublé have some
side.
friends in common. So I
Give
feel
him a
like
call.
maybe. Also, I believe that he is a captain with the co-captains.
Yes.
So I could have been
So
his
there
co-captain.
should be co-celebrity captains. I'm just saying NHL. This is airing on the NHL YouTube page. I feel like WWE fans, hockey fans, unite, make it happen. We got like 10 days. It could happen.
Look,
Chelsea
my phone is
Green,
on.
Chelsea Green for NHL All-Star Weekend in Toronto.
Thank you.
Her phone is on. Before we get to All-Star Weekend in Toronto, though, we do have the Royal Rumble right around the corner. Do you have a strategy for the Royal Rumble? How is Chelsea Green getting ready?
If I told you my strategy, Jackie, I would have to kill you.
Okay,
I'm
we
just
don't
kidding.
want that.
My strategy is definitely to hide.
Okay, that's
I'm
fair.
about to hide.
So you're kind of playing this like a reality show. Go in, don't be too noticeable, blend into the background, and then pop out at the end.
And the next thing you know, it's like 29, 30, and here I am winning the Royal Rumble, the 2024 Royal Rumble.
And which championship would you be going
Oh,
after?
I mean, I'm on Monday Night Raw, so I have to go for Rhea.
Yeah.
I have to go for her championship. It would be stupid not to.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you wouldn't be trying to go for the tag team champions with such a...
Been there, done that.
Is there anyone, though, that you're dying to throw over the top rope if opportunity presents?
Yeah, everyone. And they actually better watch out because last year I made history as we won't say what I made history for. But this year I'm about to make history tossing all those chickies out.
All those chickies out. Okay, do you have a favorite number, and does it fall between 1 and 30?
30.
So you want to come in
No,
last.
30, period. 30.
So have you already been in the ear of Adam Pearce or Nick
WWE
Aldis?
management has...
Like, how do you can you try to politically get your way to a certain number?
They know. I've sent them emails. I've sent them snail mail. I've sent them texts. I've called them. Trust me, WWE management knows what's best for them.
Okay. So we will see if Chelsea Green gets her way and enters the Rumble at number 30. Final question for you. You have held WWE gold, but if you got the Stanley Cup for a day, what would you eat out of it and where would you take it? Last
First
question.
of all, I would fill it with beer.
Okay. What kind of beer?
Obviously.
What kind of beer?
I mean, I'm a kokanee girl,
Of course you are.
so I'm gonna go with
I'm not
kokanee.
surprised.
I'm gonna go with kokanee. And I would absolutely take it to the island. I mean, it's been to the island. Don't get me
Yes.
wrong, but I'm gonna take it.
But
to
it
the
hasn't
island.
been to the island with Chelsea Green.
That's the thing. I'm gonna take it to the island, and I'm gonna brag to all my friends.
Okay, I'm doing one follow only because I think it is assumed that alcohol is always
Yeah.
drank out of the cup.
Yes.
So if you put a food in there, what would
Okay.
it be?
I wondered why you asked.
Ice
food, but now
cream,
I'm getting
cereal.
it. No, I'm gonna go with A&W poutine.
Okay, very Canadian. I respect it. I respect it.
A&W poutine. Like I'm there. Why would I not go Canadian?
All right, Chelsea, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for joining me in this lovely lounge. Who knows where we are right now? Somewhere in New Orleans, Louisiana. Good luck in the Royal Rumble. And if you have any final thoughts for the Vancouver Canucks fans out there.
Thank you, and watch me on Saturday, Royal Rumble, baby. I'm about to win this whole dang thing.
We have to go to a game together.
Oh my god!
Even though your
We
team
do.
just beat my team, but that's okay.
That's okay. I do win.
She gave me the condescending pat on the knee because she knows I'm a Leafs fan. It's
I
fine.
do tend to win, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
My team doesn't.
All right, those who know me know that I love a good overhyped or underhyped segment. This isn't going to be exactly that, but I do want to pump the tires of a couple of players that I just don't think are getting quite enough air. And the first one might surprise you. It's first-time All-Star Sam Reinhart, who's certainly getting some recognition for his 34 goals and counting. I mean, he's headed to All-Star Weekend. It's a career year. But is he getting enough attention? I say hell nah, man. His season is underhyped. His 34 goals in 46 games puts his goals per game at .74. That is second only to Austin Matthews' insane .86. Bet you didn't know that. 25% of his goals this year are also game winners. 9 G-dubs this season. I mean, no surprise, that's tops in the NHL. Not even 34 can say he has that many. Matthews is 50th in that stat category for those wondering. I mean, Sammy's not just good, he's got that clutch gene. Bet you didn't know that stat either. He does it all. Shorties, third in the NHL. Power play goals, tops in the show. 17 goals on the man advantage. The Panthers as a team have 34. For those of you who need me to do the math for you, that means Sam Reinhart has scored 50% of the Florida Panthers goals on the power play. Yeah, he's doing his absolute best Cuba Gooding Jr. show him the money impression. So that's my first underhyped player. My second is goaltender Connor Ingram. I'm just gonna rattle off the stats for you because I think they speak for themselves, all right? This guy is 8th in wins, 5th in save percentage, 6th in goals against. He's got a top 5 save percentage at 5-on-5. He's tied for the league lead in shutouts with 5 of them. He's tied for the lead in points by a goaltender. So yeah, he's dishing out assists as well. And he's got 17 of the Coyotes' 19 wins on the season. This guy didn't have a job not that long ago, and here he is providing nothing but value to the Arizona Coyotes, who, hey, by the way, are relevant in 2024 and fighting for a potential playoff spot. How is Connor Ingram not going to Toronto for All-Star Weekend? Just a question. Hit me up online, let me know. Just severely underhyped. All right, unfortunately that does it. We are all out of time, which sucks because I'm having a great time. Shout out to Filip Forsberg. If you are in Nashville, what are you waiting for? Run, do not walk to that bar to try the Forsberger. Sounds amazing. But Chelsea Green, I mean, my goodness, she wants to go to NHL All-Star Weekend, and I think we should try to help make that happen. And anytime you want to make noise, you got to go on Twitter, right? So go on social media, use the hashtag Chelsea to NHL All-Star. Let's make it happen. I know that NHL and WWE fans can band together and get Chelsea Green there. I think it would be epic. All right, like I said, we are all out of time. Do all of the things, comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you in 2 weeks. No episode next week because we are headed to Toronto for All-Star Weekend. We're gonna talk to celebrities, players, coaches. You never know who we might get to come on the show, but you can see it all in 2 weeks' time on the next episode of The Jackie Redmond Show. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Don't forget about us.